Here I am at Elder Peterson's grave. He was one of two November 7th apostles born in this dispensation, the only one in the Salt Lake Cemetery. The day before yesterday, I discovered that one of the October 7th, 1914 dates in Utah, not just this cemetery, but in Utah, just happened to be right here, which is right next to Elder Peterson. I knew that was not coincidence based upon a variety of reasons, including the signs and the things that I already knew about here at this cemetery. But I came back yesterday for October 7th, 1914. I could not locate myself. So I went to the office. They drew me up the map. And when I was leaving the office and getting in my car, I was like, oh, that looks kind of like it's in Elder Peterson's vicinity. So anyways, by the time I got up here, drove all the way up here, this is a massive, massive, massive cemetery. They say it's the biggest city-owned cemetery in the country. It is massive. Then you take into account the Mill Creek one, which is very big. You take into account Mount Olivet, Mount Calvary, the West Valley ones, the West Jordan ones. One of the West Jordan ones is fairly big. All the Sandy ones, etc., etc., etc. And the fact there's such a small amount of October 4th, October 7th, 1914s, there's only like 11 to 17 deaths in the entire state. The fact that two of them are right here next to Peterson. So by the time I got up here, I got out over there, I looked at the map closely, and I was like, oh, it looks like it's in his plot. So I start looking for it, I can't find it. So I located this grave, which was one of the graves on the map she gave me. And I could see that this grave was diagonal from it. So I located that, and then I located this one, which it was Daxter or Baxter, I forgot. And I was able to calculate that the other October 7th is like right here. It's barely kitty corner from that, and it's like two down from that. But you get the point. My explanation doesn't have to be perfect. It's literally right about here. I was shocked that out of all the places they could have sent me, I could have been anywhere in the cemetery. And here I'm being directed right, there's the other one, October 7th, 1914. I'm being directed right to the very spot of the one I found the day before. And this one just happens to be in November 7th, Apostles Row. The order here is perfect. The symbolism is in harmony. It matches. It's far beyond coincidence. And the fact that I mean, you'll walk for years before you get to October 7th, 1914's this close. So the Lord is symbolizing this. He's stamping it hard, and he's symbolizing it as so rarefied. He's basically saying, this is divine. This is premortal. This is foreordination. This is divine schooling in the way that he has secluded me, stripped me, and allowed me to get beat down in ways no one would ever begin to comprehend. So I knew that this was not coincidence. I mean, I could have been taken anywhere. And on top of that, before somebody says, oh, this must be for 1914s. No, not at all. 1890, 1908, let's go up in that row that it's in. 1929, 1916, 1890, 1940, just families owned it. 1880, Peterson is 1900. On top of that, this cemetery has old places everywhere. They're spread out. We're up near the top, and so we're at the top of the cemetery. Sidney Rignon's son is over there. That's pretty old. Elder Ballard is over there. So Elder Nelson's over there. You go way down to the other side of the cemetery. You have Hiram Smith's son. You have Brigham Young. It's spread out. They're spread out everywhere. Brigham Young's wives are in different spots. So the fact that you get two October 7th, 1914s, it is one of the rarest I've ever seen. I've never seen that with President of the Church's dates that close, to find two of them the exact day they were born. Let's go down in this row to see if anything else defies the odds. I'm not going to make too much out of things. There's November 7th Apostle, who happens to be across from one of the very few 1980s, which is close to my birth, 1980, and then you have the November 7th on him, and then you have 6 days from an ordination of a president of the church, and 11 days from McKay's death, which I tie to my birth. But look at this. The same row as my grandfather, which represents me and the patriarchal line and the premortal ordaining into families and stuff like that. And look, as you go down, you get my mom's pattern, 12/1951, but it's an ordination. Ordinations are the most important dates of all. Nothing trumps them. Nothing. I'll argue that all day. October 8th, close to my grandpa and my dad's Windsor royal bloodline. October 7th, 1951, my grandfather was chosen to be born on that day when the lady from Italy died up in Bingham Canyon. The lady from Italy in Bingham Canyon, who was only here for a short time. Husband was coming through, working for a couple of years. He was buried in other states along with her kids. She was young, like what, 21 or something? Highly defies the odds, just like this. An ordination of a president of the church, nothing trumps them. He was sustained on April 9th, 1951, which matches my dad's pattern. His death date is my birthday rearranged, January 18th, 1970. You can rearrange it to November 7th, 1980. I was born at 9. Exactly, according to my birth certificate and letter that my dad wrote. He was the 9th president of the church. Now, look at this. Coincidence? This matches me, my mom, an ordination, my grandfather, the only November 7th apostle in the cemetery, and only one of two. Look what is right across. A 3rd October 1914, which is stamped with an ordination. Of Joseph Fielding Smith. Okay, I wasn't going to show everything. Here's the November 7th pattern. My parents' sealing, as well as the November prophet going diagonal. You can go through my grandfather's right there, his month and year, and into this. It fits my mom's pattern. So I doubt that one's coincidence, but let me just put that aside. I'll recap this one really fast. You have November 7th apostle. The street that he's closest to of the ones that run north and south is 980, which runs right into Holy Cross if you draw the line. And you can't say, oh, Aaron, that's a big road. It runs all the way. No, it does not run all the way through the cemetery. It ends right at the end of the hill. So the Lord put November 7th apostle right there. He put all of these, the October 7th, 1914, November prophet birth, my mom Vera. I'm not going to recap everything on those. Perfect line, perfect, into the November 7th apostle. My mom gave birth on June 1977. that identifies her, identifies the family. There's a June prophet, June 23rd. So I think he's probably indicating something there. It goes into November, actually, yeah, it goes into November 7th apostle. And before it does, it hits this perfectly. Close to my birth, into November 7th apostle. And look at one of the symbols closest to him, Barton. Look, Aaron pattern. Okay, let's show a couple more things. Just really fast. Let me look on the back. Virginia. Okay. Let's follow the April 12th, 1951, November 7th apostle, and the October 7th, 1914. Let's follow that row perfectly. Watch all the way up. I'm not gonna take note of everything, but watch what happens when we stay in this row. There's a 1951. That could be coincidence, but watch. Here we hit this. We have my mom's middle name with a May 1980, Mount St. Helens. My mom is the Sharon, she's the Fayette, New York. Major birth. I was born on the 150th anniversary of year of the birth of the church in Fayette, New York. Prophet's birthday, August 4th. Now watch. Same row. Look at this. You have the next one, two prophets, about 11 days from Wilford Woodruff's ordination. So that's highly compelling. It checks like three things: two prophets plus an ordination. 11 days. It's very unusual. Condi, President Monson's family was a Condi. Now, this is November 7th Apostles Row, the only November 7th apostle in this cemetery. This is also, again, the row of the October 7th, 1914. Watch. The very next one. President Monson's grandfather with a November prophet. Now, here's the other row that the other October 7th, 1914 was in. Look. November 6th, future prophet Uchtdorf with a 1980 derivative. You also get the November 14th going diagonal, president of the church. You get 1832. That's interesting. I won't go there. But it took me a while to realize this is not coincidence. You get the November 14. You get the future prophet November 6th. You get the November 22nd, another November prophet on Monson's grandfather. Now watch. Here you get the other November prophet on my birth year derivative. Again, November 1st, 1980. Same guy. Not good enough? Here's the other November prophet, November 13. So you get the 14, the 13, the 1, the 22, and the 6. All November prophets being represented right here. In fact, you get the November 14th prophet, his year, there. And then the November 1st, 1908, you also get Hebrews, November 22nd, 1856. It took me a while to realize this one was not coincidence. It's too strong. It surrounds Monson's grandfather, who lived kitty corner from Holy Cross Hospital when he died, and then he was buried there. There's Holy Cross. If you draw a straight line, we're closer to the west side of Holy Cross, as you can see. Look at how he put Monson's father in a very rare spot, which is signified. Look at this. Iron, like Blue Iron Way. Ron I, Aaron I, and oh, you could say November 27th. Look at that.